If you wake up nowadays feeling as if something is seriously off, or you feel like you don't recognize yourself anymore, you don't recognize your life, you don't know what you're doing here, or you even feel stuck, even though that word often has real serious connotations, sometimes even negative connotation to it. If that's you, I'm here to tell you real transformation doesn't have to happen with a big, massive change. And I know, sometimes that's what we feel like we need to do in order to make progress. But real transformation can beautifully happen through a compound series of small shifts, what I call small shifts. So if you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Maria Martinez, and this is the Inner Authority Project. Here, we talk about all things transformation, identity, and inner authority for women over 50. So, I'd like to talk to you today about some shifts that can change everything in midlife. Okay, you with me? Some shifts that, if done consistently and over time, will change everything, and you don't have to throw everything that you have created up to this point on away. You can just build from where you are right now. So let's talk about those three shifts, shall we? The first shift that I want to talk to you about is from autopilot to awareness. And I love the whole concept of awareness, especially self awareness, because if you think about it, a lot of what we do is based on autopilot. We go in autopilot mode. Maybe because we want to avoid certain reactions, we want to avoid spending energy on things that we gave up on long time ago, things that we don't want to spend energy on, or things that we want to ignore right now because we need energy for something else down the road. So very often I find that we go in autopilot. We have routines that we go in and out, day in and day out, and we don't even think about it. Or we have some quick decisions that we make automatically, things that we say yes to because it's just easier. So those are things that I categorize under the autopilot mode. So this first shift, hear me out, is about noticing. So we're going from autopilot to awareness. And the first thing that we got to do that is to pause and to notice, to pay attention. Here, I want you to ask yourself, what is going on? Where is my energy going? Something doesn't feel right, pause. Don't push through, that's autopilot. Just pause for a moment, become self aware, and explore what is happening at that very moment. These, by the way, are great moments for you to journal about. I love my journal, and I talk a lot about journaling because that is a huge move when it comes to becoming self aware and saying no to autopilot. So you write down what is happening, who is involved, what is the decision that you were asked to make, or that you had to make. Even if this is after the fact, it's okay because we are dissecting, we're exploring what happened so that we can start to pay attention. So, awareness here is everything, everything. And think about this, this is not something that you can delegate to anybody. This is something that you have to do for yourself. So, with this shift, we pause and we check in with ourselves. Is there something that is making us feel a little uncomfortable? We feel it in our bodies, and our bodies never lie, right? So we have to pay attention to that and start noticing in our journal or through that reflection to identify this moment as one of those moments when we might want to start reclaiming our inner authority. Yes or yes. So that's the first shift, being very assertive about moving from autopilot to self awareness. The second shift I want to talk to you about is from pressure to permission. And we've talked about this before, but the reality is that the older we get, probably the more roles and responsibilities we have assumed along the way. And with those roles and responsibilities come what? Expectations, right? So, with those roles and responsibilities that we've accepted, we probably have accepted a lot of those expectations, and We have learned to go along or go with the flow because it probably has worked okay for now so far, right? Maybe it is because we're making somebody's life a little easier by saying yes to that particular decision, or we just agreed a long time ago to something that maybe is no longer working for us. So the point here is to move from a point of feeling pressure or obligation to deliver on something or to achieve something and shifting, get the shift, and shifting into permission. Now, what does that mean? That means we're going to give ourselves permission to intentionally say it's okay to want something different. We're going to give ourselves permission to say it's okay to outgrow this particular pattern or habit or lifestyle. It's okay for us to say, I'm going to put myself first here and I am going to choose again. So, moving in this shift from pressure to power from pressure to permission is particularly relevant because we are giving ourselves permission to start again, to say yes when we want to say no or no when we want to say yes, to take time to think about how this influences the life that I want to create. And remember, here, we don't need permission. This shift is all about trusting ourselves enough to say, I give myself permission to fill in the blank, to say yes, to say no, to start again, to want something different, to acknowledge that I have outgrown my life so far. Okay? So that is all about giving ourselves permission. And then there's one more shift that I submit to you that can change everything in midlife. And that is when we move from waiting to small movements. Now, mind you, I said small movements. Yes, again, we might consider that we have to change a lot of things or to make a massive change in order to feel the effect of transformation, the effect of something new. But the reality is that it is in those small moments or the compound effect of the small actions that we truly create transformation. It's as if when you change something, everything else changes, right? People might look at you and say, wow, you've changed. Well, and that's okay, right? That's their prerogative. Ultimately, you will know that you're doing what is right for you. So, moving from waiting to small movement is key, is paramount, because here it also comes with this concept that so often we wait to have clarity, or we wait until the perfect moment, or we wait until we have all the details and everything figured out, right? But clarity doesn't come from waiting, my friends. Clarity does not come from waiting. Clarity actually comes as you decide to take a step forward and make one move in the direction of your own best interest, right? From moving. So here it might be one decision. What's that one decision that you can make today? Maybe it's about setting one new boundary. I will no longer do whatever, right? Fill in the blank. Or maybe it is one new choice. Remember the power of one. You'll hear me talk about this a lot. So this shift that can change everything, it's almost giving yourself permission to move, to take action, but to take action in small increments. So that one thing is what I want you to think about today. What's that one thing, right? Because you don't have to change everything, but you do need to shift. And today we talked about three real important shifts that can change everything for you in life. So from autopilot to awareness, from pressure to permission, or from waiting to small movement. This helps you change the way that you look at things, the way that you make decisions, the way that you perceive yourself and your own authority. And as Dr. Dwayne Dwyer said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So if you're ready to start, I want you to go ahead and comment and like this video, but also there is a link down on the pinned comment below where you can download my Jumpstart Guide, and that could be the one thing that you decide to do today. Would you go on this journey with me? This is the Inner Authority Project. My name is Dr. Maria Martinez, and I'll see you soon where we're going to talk about how to trust ourselves back even if we've lost a little bit of practice. Until next time.